Hi, I'm Becky Sims and welcome to Behind the Future, the podcast from Aspiration Digital. We're here to unlock digital careers, one conversation at a time. On each episode, I'll be joined by a student co-host. We'll be interviewing amazing people from across the industry to learn about how they got started in their career and what it is that they do. Let's dive in to find out the secrets to their success. Now, I had the inside track on knowing how good Lucy was going to be because I get to work with her every day. But how did you just find that?
I found it really well because she spoke about having a positive attitude and hanging around with a positive environment. And that kind of inspired me to find a career that I want to do that is also similar to hers. Because when she spoke about being in a positive environment, I want to do that as well. Because I don't want to go into a career that I don't want to do that doesn't have that positive environment, because I feel like that will impact me and my mental health a lot, which is something I don't want to do. So it really helps me a lot.
Well, and the thing is, you've got the opportunity to find something you love. I think sometimes people when they're younger think, oh, work. But actually, when you see someone like Lucy, you go, work. It's exciting because so much opportunity.
She spoke about opportunities and work placements and how she didn't have that when in her times, but I feel like we have that now. We have opportunities and work experiences. For example, you did the Aspirations Digital thing the other week. I think that's really important that we go to those kind of places, because that'll help us a lot as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I think our audience are going to enjoy this one. So let's send them over to the episode now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lucy and I'm going to be taking you behind the future.
Welcome to another episode of Behind the Future, and this is going to be a good one. I mean, they're all good ones. I am joined today by Ruhan. Ruhan, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ruhan and I'm a Year 12 student currently studying Sociology, Media and Politics.
Amazing. And we are here with the fabulous Lucy Todd, and she is going to be telling us her story. So Lucy, tell us a little bit about yourself to get us started.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's lovely to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm currently marketing manager for Reflect Digital. So me and Becky know each other quite well. So my job is to make sure that I deliver the marketing strategy for the business. Super fun. No one day is the same. Super busy, but have to be super organised. And it's just super fun. Just love it. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you are definitely loving what you do, which is definitely one of our mission statements, isn't it?
Definitely is. Yeah, I definitely feel like I love what I do. And I think that's really important. You need to love what you do, don't you? So
definitely. So Ruhan, first question.
Well, as a marketing manager, what would you say is a typical day for you?
Oh God. As I said, no one day is the same, but we do a lot of events organisation. So there's a lot involved in that. It's kind of doing the outreach, getting people signed up, speaking with the venue, getting things sorted out, getting it live on the website so people can then sign up. So it's looking at the content as well that goes on the website. Events is huge for us. I do a lot of SEO, which is search engine optimization. So ensuring that our website is kind of top of the results on Google. So I do a lot of that. We work with an SEO team that help us to do that for the Reflex site and our sister company site Lab as well. So do a lot of that. That's a lot of content writing and looking at keywords. And then we do a lot of social media. So everything you see on our stories and our Instagram grid, that is the marketing team that do that. That's super fun because we work with Chris in our video production quite a lot to do a lot of reels, videos. We recently did actually on the topic of adolescence, which is a really big thing on Netflix at the minute. We actually did our one-shot promo video for our training program. That was super fun. So we get to do that. Oh my God, no one day is the same. That's just a small smidgen of it, but it's just super fun. You just get to do something different every day. And I feel like that's really nice because I mean, sometimes you can be in a mundane job where you're doing the same thing every day, day in, day out. Whereas my job, I just feel like, yeah, it's just, I get to do something different. Like, and I feel like I need that sometimes just to keep me motivated and engaged. But yeah, it's great. I love it.
There's
Really,
always
really love it.
curveballs coming, aren't there?
Yes,
And crazy
always,
ideas
yeah.
from someone normally throwing those at you.
It is, yeah. I think that is one thing in marketing, isn't it? Like, you can be proactive and have things planned out. Like, especially for our content, we'll have a content calendar, and we'll plan what we're going to like share on social media, what we're going to share on the website. But I think you have to be reactive as well. So there's a lot of stuff in the marketing team that we get, oh, let's jump on this. Oh, can we do this? And it's just about prioritizing and just, yeah, making sure you're organising your time. And so yeah, there is a lot of reactive processes in marketing as well, but that makes it super fun as well because it's different.
It feels like from what you said there, there's the two ends of it. You've got the creativity side because you've got to have the ideas and what you're going to do, and then there's like the in the detail delivering that and making it happen in the organisation. Would that be fair to say? Like, what do you think the key skills are?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think organisation is a real big one, and I think as well, like, being able to look at data and like analyze the results as well, because you know it's all well and good doing marketing activity, but we need to make sure that we are getting the results back on that. So yeah, just ensuring that you're controlling it as well, and you're making sure you're seeing what you're doing is working, and if it's not working, you review it, you look back, you switch it up, you adapt. I think that's important.
Yeah, there's no guarantees with marketing, are there?
No, that's it. I feel like sometimes it can be a little bit of a finger in the air, but you've just got to take the risk sometimes and just do it. And I feel like that's quite fun as well. Like being able to just, I think at Reflect, like we can really share our ideas, and we feel like those are listened to, and we feel like we can really input into like everything that goes on in the agency, especially from a marketing point of view. Like, it is quite creative, and we need to constantly be thinking of ways to reach our audience and engage with people. So yeah, coming up with lots of different ideas is always super fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned agency there. Some of our audience might not know what an agency is. So tell us, what's an agency?
So Reflect is a digital performance marketing agency. So we have clients that we basically do their marketing for them. So that will cover things like search engine optimization, your paid ads, customer experience. We look at human behavior as well. So we cover all aspects for a client essentially, and we will process all of that for them. So yeah.
And then you managed all of that type of thing for us.
Yes. So that's the fun thing about my job. And it's always a funny one to describe because I essentially market to marketers. So me and my team ensure that we are putting the agency out there, and we're actually marketing for our agency to bring new clients in. So yeah, that's a good part of it.
So you have to reach the harshest critics probably, don't
you? Yes. We have to know what we're talking about. You can't fool a marketer, especially if you are one.
Yeah, so you said earlier that every day in your job is different. So what would you say is the most unexpected thing you've been asked to do?
Oh, that is such a good question. Do you know what? I think so. We do a lot of events at Reflect, and we have what we call brunch and learns. So these are like live webinars where we pick a topic and we have our experts from the team talk about that. And sometimes we have panels where we discuss it and we get the audience to send in their questions. So events like that, if we have sort of like an idea come up, we're always like, oh, that would be really good to bring people in to come and discuss that and ask their questions, and we can talk about it and like kind of educate them on that. So I feel like we have quite an extensive marketing calendar. So I feel like, yeah, being reactive is like making sure that we can fit different events in, but also making sure that they're relevant and they fit into our marketing plan as well. So yeah, that's always a tricky one, is like, but that's why you have to be so organised, because you have to make sure that you allow for that reactive task to come along. So yeah,
they're always the last minute bits that's like, let's do this.
But do you know what, it's fun because you go, yes, oh my god, let's jump on this, let's do it. Just again, it makes it exciting. Like you think you're going down one direction, and then you're like, oh no, I've got to go this way now. Like it's like, so you got to be kind of ready for that, I think.
A lot of reprioritizing, a lot of time management, I suppose, as well.
Definitely a lot of time management. Like if you could see my calendar, it's most days it's to like the hour that I've got stuff put in. But I mean, for me, that's just how I work. Like that's how I like to work, is being super organised that way. But yeah, there's so much going on. You just have to make sure that you're fitting it all in. Yeah.
And I guess this hasn't always been the type of marketing you did, because so you've been with Reflect Digital and Human First for the last year, well, coming up for a year now, isn't it? But previously you were in a much more digital marketing role, weren't you?
Yeah, so I was in the automotive industry for about 11 years. So I started off as a creative designer, so doing a lot of graphics design, and then a marketing role came up, and it was so we sold automotive factors and parts, and we had an eBay store. And I was kind of the marketing manager for that. It was very I felt like you was in a box. There wasn't a lot that you could do outside of the eBay platform. But then a few years later, I was offered, we bought a website actually, a car bulbs website. And I actually got offered like a marketing manager role for that. So I moved into e-com, which e-com is like websites, online stores. And I feel like I had a lot more like free reign. But I feel like when I did go into that role, it was so daunting because I was like, do I know what I'm doing? Like, I've not done this before. But actually, in the, 4 or 5 years that I did do it, I learned so much. And I think it was like the people that are around me. Like, I had like a couple of team members that I met in my role. They was virtual as well, so I felt like it was quite hard sometimes because not having someone there actually, training you or teaching you. So I just had to kind of gain the experience and do the learning on the job, really. But I look back and I feel like that was probably one of the best ways that I've gained the experience and knowledge that I have, because I feel like experience, like it means so much now, I think, like having that experience. And yeah, I learned so much. Like the people that I did work were essentially like mentors to me. I had a manager, Phil, shout out to Phil. He taught me so much, and I feel like he essentially threw me in at the deep end, and I was joining SEO calls. I didn't even know what search engine optimization was to an extent. And he threw me in these team calls with an agency actually at the time. So I was obviously in an in-house role. So yeah, I was started to work with agencies, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this is how it worked. And yeah, I learned so much. And now I'm managing kind of the SEO strategy for the Reflect and Lab site because I've gained so much knowledge. I'm still learning on the job. But again, with like the paid ads, I was working with an agency for our paid ads, and I got to learn so much about that and actually understand what paid ads were. Because I mean, comparing it to eBay, you just set up kind of discounts and promotions and things like that, that you didn't go to the extent of like ads and looking at your search engine optimization or anything like that. So yeah, I've learned so much. And I think having those mentors, Ashley as well, shout out to Ashley, she taught me so much in my role as well. She was really strong on the theory side of it, so I feel like she really did pass a lot of tips and knowledge on to me that made me feel like I was in a position that I could move on and come to like an agency environment, which I absolutely love. So
love that. Love Ashley and Phil as well.
Yeah, shout out to Ashley and Phil.
We all need people like that, like you do across your career. There's so many milestone people that I remember in my career as well, and they're so important to help you learn.
Yeah.
And obviously, so what were the differences between in-house and agency? What would you say? Because obviously you are still kind of in-house in our agency because you're marketing us. But for anyone that doesn't really understand that, tell us a bit about what the difference between maybe in-house and agency might look like.
Yeah, so I feel like in-house, where we was, I managed e-com site. I ended up managing 3 e-com sites actually. And I think when you're doing it for one specific entity, you are focused on kind of, I suppose one goal really is kind of driving sales. And I was essentially like I project managed a lot of like what was going on. And yeah, you all got a common goal, you're all going for the same thing. And I mean, in an agency it's exactly the same. But I mean, although I don't work with the client side of it, when you think about clients, you're doing that for various multiple different companies, businesses, e-com sites. So yeah, it's vaster, it's wider. And I think, especially in my role, marketing to marketeers, it is sort of like its own entity, but you do get to, we look at like different sectors. So it's going after different industries and things like that. So yeah, it's very different. It's broader. There's a lot more you get kind of exposed to in a sense of like brands and who people are and different industries, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so you spoke about mentors before and how they've helped you. Who would you say have been the biggest inspirations or influences to your career?
Oh my God. Do you know what? In the automotive job that I was talking about, I became redundant in my previous job. And it was actually my cousin that was running the automotive business. And he knew that I loved, design, and I was quite creative. Those are the subjects I studied at school. So he was like, hey, like, I've got a job for you. Like, and I was like, do you know what? This is coming at like the perfect time. Like, I need a new job. And he took me on, and do you know what? Even being like, obviously his family, so I feel like he always had my best interests at heart. I feel like he was a great mentor. I feel like he taught me a lot, and he's got such a business head on him that, again, I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
And so he was always kind of striving me to do better. And, he was the reason that I had these marketing role opportunities. He knew that I would be good at that, and that was best suited to me. So yeah, I shout out to my cousin. He was a mentor to me. But again, going back to like Phil and Ashley, that was really the pinnacle for me. Like at that point, I jumped into this serious marketing role, and it was like, whoa, like, and they did just guide me. And at the time, I think like I didn't realise it was them probably like guiding me and teaching me. But now I'm being in the role that I'm in now, I look back and I go, oh my God, they taught me so much. Like, and I'm so glad that I actually absorbed it all and I took it all in, and it actually made me think, do you know what? I really love doing this. Like, this is what I want to do. And it just opened up so much for me. Like, you don't realise how vast like marketing is, digital marketing. So it just opened a lot of like, I don't know, not doors, but just like it opened up my brain. Like, my God, like I can do this. Like, there's just so much. Like, yeah. I think it's really important to have like a mentor, like someone there to guide you.
Yeah, 100%. When did you first know it was marketing that you wanted to do? Because obviously you said, so like, let's go back further. Let's go back to when you're kind of Ruhan's age. Like you were studying creative subjects, but like, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so at kind of A-level, I was studying like creative subjects. So I did art and design, I did product design, I did photography. Like I like to be practical. Like I've always been like a creative person. Loved art, loved drawing. My mum always used to moan at me because I'd always write on the tablecloth at home, and she'd always be like, oh my God, you're going to be an artist one day because you always writing on my tablecloth. So it's always me, and like a few little stick men on the wallpaper at home when I was little. But yeah, like I've always been like creative. Like that's always what I wanted to do. But I think when I look back to school and what I'm doing now, like I didn't know marketing exists. Like nothing like that was spoken to us about it at school to us. Like, and I think as well, I come from a generation where we always say like Facebook was only just really starting out, and you had like the instant chats online, and you had to dial up the internet at home. So I think I was in a really nice generation where we still actually was kind of like going outside on our bikes, but also we had like started to get phones and things like that. So again, like when you think about marketing now, digital marketing, like social media and it being online is so big now, whereas I suppose back then it probably wasn't as big. So yeah, I think that might have a bit to do with it, that it wasn't really like kind of spoken about. But yeah, I just think from being creative and being in a creative role, that took me to where I am. And again, I think like when I jumped on the e-com sites, that's when I really started to feel like, do you know what? Like I get this. I know what I'm doing now. Like, and it's quite rewarding because I think when I was in the in-house role, it was very like results driven. So you had to really be thinking about what the results were and the numbers. And when you did see things do well, you're like, it egged you on to kind of, let's do this again. Oh my God, this was great. So I feel like probably being in that role and when I started to understand it a lot more was when I was like, this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah, I guess e-com's really easy to measure, isn't it? Because for what we do as an agency, it can be really hard to measure because sales cycles can take years. Like we can run an event, we can meet someone, and it might be a year or two later they come back and buy from us. Whereas e-com, you send out an email marketing campaign, you put a new ads campaign out, you are selling product immediately, hopefully. Especially the type of products you were selling, because they're quite low price things that people, if you're looking for it, you need it. You need to replace your wiper blades or your bulbs or whatever. What how do you feel about, I'm sure you're not like overly excited by wiper blades and bulbs. Like, what was that like working for something? Because I suppose some people might be aspiring to go, oh, I'd love to go and work in e-commerce, but actually I want to go to a fashion brand or something like that. How did that feel working for a brand that maybe is like a really functional brand?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It was great because it had its challenges. Like for wiper blades, for example, it's very like seasonal. Like it was always that challenge, like, right, what are we going to do in the summer? Because, you know, it doesn't, well, in England it probably does, but it doesn't really rain a lot. And that's, you know, that period of the year, what are we going to do? What's our marketing strategy? So it's always having that like challenge with it. Yeah, I wouldn't say bulbs and wiper blades are the most exciting thing, but I think the team that I worked with as well, the people that were around me, was always great. And we were always thinking up new ideas. And we did actually, not long before I moved jobs, we did like a rebrand. So I got to get a look in on like the rebranding, the new logo, and having like input on that as well. So it's not always just about like the product itself, it's about everything else that comes with it. So it's the campaigns, like, oh, how can we make this really fun? How can we loop it into like our social media strategy? And we started to do how to fit guides, and we started to get a little bit better at doing kind of reels and videos for social media. So that was always fun. And as I said, the rebranding, we did new brand messaging as well. So I had a lot of input into that, and the team did. So yeah, I think because in my role in that particular job, because I covered a lot of ground and a lot of kind of channels, it was always super interesting, regardless of like kind of what the business and product was. But you all strived for one goal, as I said earlier. Like it was like, let's sell wiper blades. And it was always fun because, you know, you've always got competitors out there. So it's like, right, what can we do to like go against our competitors? How can we work this? So yeah, it was just everything about it. It was,
I think that just shows how much you obviously love marketing.
Yeah.
And actually, so I guess the message from that is if you love it, it doesn't matter what you're marketing, providing it's a good product. I think that's important, isn't it?
Absolutely.
No one wants to be trying to sell something that people don't want to buy, or, you know, when they buy it, it's going to fall apart afterwards or whatever.
Exactly.
So you need to believe in the product, but...
Absolutely. And I think like where my office was based, we was actually based within the warehouse. Like we got to see kind of the deliveries come in, the stock go on the shelves, and the warehouse team like pick and pack stuff and post it out. And we'd get like 40-foot containers every 6 months purely of wiper blades. Like, and it made you realise that like, whoa, this is huge. Like it made you feel like part of something. Like it wasn't, and I think especially in my old job, when you know, a lot of people, when I say, oh, it was an eBay store, I think a lot of people still think that's like an auction site. But the place that I used to work for, they were like the top 3 automotive sellers in the whole of the world, like, or the UK, whatever it was. And like that's something to be really proud of. Like, so for us to all be sat in a small office, and I think we was all under 30 as well, and you know, my cousin running it from when he was so much younger, like he was near like early 20s, to then it being where it's at now. We've got 3 e-com sites. We run like £1 million a month eBay store. I think people are like, an eBay? And you're like, yeah, like it's kind of like an Amazon now, isn't it really? Like it's big.
Yeah.
Are Duolingo, Nike and McDonald's some of your favourite brands? For all the latest marketing and brand news, follow The Drum Mag on Instagram.
What advice would you give to the younger generation who are like also into marketing as well?
I think I always say, like, any opportunity that is given to you, just grab it with both hands. Like, just embrace it. I think especially like Aspiration Digital, for example, like there was nothing like that when I was younger. There wasn't a careers event like that. And I think if you ever get the opportunity to attend that event, like just grab it with both hands. And going back to the mentor thing, if that you do feel like there's someone there that, you know, there's a voice for you, is on your shoulder, they're guiding you, like, just take on everything that you can, because you don't know where that will lead you. Like, I look back and I think I didn't know really much about marketing at all, but now I'm in a marketing manager role that I'm loving, and I think, yeah, right, like I know what I'm doing. Like, this is my job. I love this. So I think, yeah, just take any opportunity that you get, because I look back and I've, you know, I suppose you always have regrets, don't you? But you think, oh, I wish I did a bit better there. I wish, especially school, you can feel like that. Like, I wish I did, you know, maybe listen a little bit more and like take it a little bit more seriously, because I think we spoke about it earlier. Like, you don't know what I think at an age where you still don't really know what you want to do. It's really hard. So I think if you can gain any guidance from anyone or be influenced by anything career wise, like just take it. You'll realize how valuable that is like later on in life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think, probably at the time you're like, oh, I've got to go do this thing,
Yeah.
or it feels like a lot of effort.
Absolutely.
But actually, those are the moments, and you're doing it already. You're here today on a podcast, which actually when normally you'd be at school today. Yeah. So this is amazing exposure and opportunity to see what's happening, to get to speak. Obviously, all our guests that are listening, or our audience that's listening, are just hearing what's happening, but you're fully immersed in making something like this happen, which is amazing.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah. So you've worked for brands like Reflect Digital Lab and Aspiration Digital. So how would you say how did you manage all projects at once?
God, it's tough.
There's a lot of balls in the air, aren't there?
That's where like kind of the organisation and the time management comes into it. But I think what's nice about it is that like they're all three slightly different entities. So it feels like you are working with kind of three separate brands sometimes, but the direction is always the same. You always want to you want to promote that brand, you want to raise that brand awareness, you want to get them out there. Like it's always the same kind of goal. But yeah, I think time management, organisation, just making sure you're on top of that, because yeah, I think especially like if we've got a specific topic going on for, say, Reflect, like we do tend to prioritise more time towards that particular project, but then we'll always come back to the next one. It's like, it's the planning as well. So our marketing calendar pretty much dictates what we've got going on and when we've got going on, but we'd never kind of plan like 3 or 4 things at once, like to the point where it's like, we can't fulfill this, like we can't do this. So it's just about being strategic and making sure that the planning is in place as well. I think what was easier about my last job, is that the e-com sites were kind of the same product. So it was kind of like you were doing the same thing, but just across 3 different websites, which I suppose is quite similar to really what we're doing in the agency. But yeah, Aspiration Digital is slightly different. But, you know, they've all got a website, they've all got a content strategy, they've all got a social strategy, they've all got events. So it's kind of the same thing. It's just making sure, planning, time, organisation.
And I guess learning to say no sometimes.
Yep. Absolutely. Like I said, with the marketing calendar, you know, it's all well and good having all these great ideas, and you know, we want to fulfill them. It just might not be at that very time that we can fulfill it then. We just have to make sure that we're not taking on too much. And especially like with events, you don't want an event to fall flat because we've not put enough time and effort into it because we've got 10 other things going on. Like, we want to make sure that if we're doing an event, it's the best event we could ever do. So yeah, it's just about making sure that we're not doing too much, but enough.
And how do you stay kind of calm? Because I've got an insider in here in that I know Lucy and I get to work with her, and you're such a calming force around. Sometimes I'm like sitting there thinking, how are we going to keep all these balls in the air? Yeah. And you're just like, yeah, we're doing this, like, what is it? Yeah. Have you always been like that? Have you always been able to keep everything moving and not feel stressed? Because you never look stressed.
Do you know what? It's funny because if you spoke to like my mum, my partner, like my family, they would say the complete opposite. Like at home, I'm literally like, it's chaotic. Like I'm all over the place. But I think like, again, with work, like especially my job now, like I do really love what I do. And I think when you really love doing something, like I genuinely like being at work. I genuinely like being in the office and being around my team. So I feel like that if I'm happy and I'm enjoying it, like I feel like it is a calming. Like, and I think John even said to me, he's like, John, my partner, my other half, he was like, you are like happiest at work, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But yeah, like I do really enjoy my job. Like it's fun. And I feel like it because I enjoy it, like I said, it does like ground me. Like I just feel like, yeah, I love this. I can do it.
And I guess because you're organised, that stops you feeling stressed because you've got the plan, you know what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So they're definitely important skills in a job where, because I guess there's other people that might work in marketing where they're in a really narrow role. Like some of the people, like everyone that works for our business basically works in marketing, but some of them are in a very narrow role where they're running paid media. And although they then have I've got 10 clients to keep happy, it's always paid media. Whereas one day you're worried about paid media, the next day you're worried about an event, and the next day it's SEO and something else. Yeah. But so it's the planning and the organisation for you, is it?
Definitely. That is definitely the biggest thing for me. And I think as like a generalist marketer where I cover kind of various channels, I'm not just one kind of specific like direction, as you say, like that is probably one of the most important things to have, like trait to have. Like Erin, who works with me on the marketing team in Reflex, like we have got the same like organisation trait. And I think even when she might be overwhelmed or have a lot on, like, or vice versa, like we're always, you know, having that support and having a good team around you, like that's super helpful as well. Like we bounce off one another, we support one another, and we're like, oh, I'll take that for you, or yeah, if you need help, I'll do that. Like we work together, and it's about being like kind of on the same wavelength and knowing exactly like what we have to do. So we catch up a lot, make sure we've got plans in place, and it's just making sure we keep in touch and with one another.
It's funny as well because I think when you're your age, your friendship group often is your school friends, and you won't lose them. Like some might change over the years, but you make such important friends through work, don't you?
Oh, massively. You got to think, when you're in full-time work, like that is pretty much where you spend 80-90% of your time for the rest of your life until you're like, you know, age for retirement. So you do, like, you spend a lot of time with these people, like, so, you know, it is about creating nice relationships that you can come to work to and, you know, enjoy the people that you work with. Don't get me wrong, there's times when it is hard and you think, oh God, like I just need to get this done, or like, oh, they're not really helping, or, you know, but you just got to kind of, I always say, like, take a step back and just think, right, what is the priority here? Like, what do I need to be doing? And always ask for support. Like, you know, it's said a lot lately, isn't it? Like, if you need help, ask for it. Like, speak about it. So I think it's really important having a good relationship with your team. And, you know, if you need the help, you ask for it. And, you know, if you've got a good enough team around you, they will support you. And we always support one another, and we're always on hand. We're always, you know, no question is a silly question, is it? So yeah, that's super important, I think.
And was that something you looked for when you changed roles? Because obviously you've been 11 years with the same company but changing what websites you were working on, etc. That's a really long time in one company, so it must have been slightly daunting changing role. So how did you go about, and I suppose I feel like I'm stroking my ego a little bit here because you obviously liked what you saw with us, but what did you look for?
Oh God, that's a really hard one. Like, a lot of the people that I worked with, you know, I worked with family. Like the managing director was my first cousin. I went to school with some of the guys that worked in the team as well. So I've known these people for years, like even outside of school. So yeah, it was really daunting to kind of step away from that. But I think I got to a point in my life where it was just kind of like, I'm, you know, at school it can be quite daunting to kind of make new relationships and friendships. Like, you're a bit nervous to speak to people, but I think as you get older you start caring less a little bit, don't you? You think like, no, like I'm a nice person, like I'm chatty and I am a chatty person. I feel like I find it quite easy to chat to people. So I feel like I've just thought I'll go in there, be myself, and and I have made some lovely friendships. Like everyone is super lovely. You know, and I, like you say, I haven't even been at Reflect a year, and I just feel like a lot of the people that I work with are massive parts of my life now because, you know, we spend so much time together.
Well, you're part of the furniture now.
Yeah.
But I think, I suppose the message for students as well is that when you're getting to the point of looking for a job, and it's different maybe with your part-time jobs where it might be more a supermarket or somewhere local because it needs to be the type of hours. But when you're looking for your full-time job, you have a choice about where you work.
Yeah.
And understanding the values of who they are as a business. Does that align with what you want? Are they going to support you in the right way? They're all things that you can look for and you can make decisions on. I think people often come to interviews and they're a bit nervous, like, and it's understandable that it would be nerve-wracking, but actually it's your opportunity to find out about that company too and make sure this is going to be a good fit for you as much as for them. It's going to be a good fit for them to hire you.
Definitely. And I think with Reflect, especially like the website, it had all the team members on there, and there was even like personal bits. We share like our likes and dislikes on there, and you even got an insight into that person before you'd even met them. And I feel like even when I came for the interview, like it was really casual, it was friendly. It wasn't, I was so used to like kind of corporate PLC, and it was like, you know, you even had to sit a certain way sometimes. But, you know, coming into an agency, and I think agency, it always feels a lot more casual and fun, and, you know, everyone is super creative, so you get that vibe. But God, I remember my first day, and like I came in and everyone hugged me and, how you doing? You okay? Like, it's great to have you here today. And, you know, you receive that warm welcome on your first day, and it's like, wow, like there are companies out there like this. Like I do think it is really important to your research, and like, you know, we're big on culture at Reflect, and we want everyone to be happy. Like Becky's always saying to us, we want you to love what you do, and if you step into Reflect, you see that from everyone. So yeah, I think just be happy. Like you're, you know, I'm not saying you're going to be in a job for the rest of your life. Like you can switch and go somewhere else, wherever your kind of journey takes you. But just be happy. Like be happy where you are, because it's a long time to be sad and not enjoy what you're doing. Like, just love what you do.
Just a quick note from me. We'd love you to hit the subscribe button. This helps us more than you might realise when it comes to growing this podcast, ensuring we can bring you the best guests possible. Thank you. Back to the episode.
So speaking about being happy and being yourself, I've heard that you're a huge Eminem fan. If you were to create a marketing campaign for him, what would it be?
Oh my God, that's so hard. Do you know what? I did a post on LinkedIn, actually. It was part of a Pretty Little Marketer challenge that she did. And I was sharing about how when Eminem's last album came out, so his albums, I don't know if, do you listen to Eminem? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if, do you do it? Okay, that's good then. I feel like I'm a different generation to you, whether you still listen to Eminem or not. But yeah, he brought out an album which for him is like, you know, he doesn't do that very often. So when it comes to the marketing, it's like, it's huge. Yeah. And like when you look at his marketing, and if you are a super fan like me, a lot of what he's doing, I was like, oh my God, like that's so good. Like he hammered in on the whole, like the first song that came out was Houdini. So obviously he was like an escape artist, like a magician. So he was hounding on that kind of magic and that like escape artist. And, you know, a lot of fans had speculation, and they were saying how, like, you know, Houdini, he comes from Detroit where Eminem lives, and he died on the 31st of October, and that's when his albums come out. Does this mean this is the last we're going to see of Eminem? Like, that's it. He's going to, like, just disappear now. Like, and he did play on the whole, like, disappearing act. And I think what was really nice is because, like I was talking about generations, whether you actually listen to Eminem or not, like he has been around for years, and he really played on that kind of millennial versus Gen Z, and like a lot of his questionable lyrics, you know, Gen Z, they're kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that on a song. Like, whereas we're like my age group, like my demographic, we're like, oh God, yeah, like this is Eminem, like this is him, like true Eminem. So it was really that part of his marketing I thought was so clever. Like he was able to tap into an audience that he probably hasn't really tapped into. I do feel like I pick apart marketing campaigns now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. I love that bit. But yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. And obviously you mentioned Pretty Little Marketer there. That's like a marketing community.
Mm-hmm.
How influential to your career has been finding communities where you like, is that where you go to learn about what's happening in the industry? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, massively. Like I've done a few courses with Girls in Marketing as well. They're like a marketing community, and they run courses, and you get certification after it as well, which you can obviously post on your LinkedIn and things like that. And it was a free course as well. But you get to join webinars, you get to join the community, you get to hear people's like views and trends of what's going on in the industry as well. And I feel like LinkedIn is a strong resource for that. If you follow some really nice communities, like you can, you even heard about social trends and like how the apps are changing, and like making sure you're staying ahead of that curve to make sure that we're kind of reflecting that in our marketing strategy as well. So I feel like it's really important to kind of have your nose in the industry and know what's going on. And like Pretty Little Marketer and Girls in Marketing, there's a lot of communities like that on LinkedIn that will share that sort of stuff.
And obviously we're at the Drum Labs today. We were talking about the drum earlier, and actually how it's just such an amazing source for what's going on in the industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're normally the first to talk about when a campaign drops, etc. So yeah, big up to the drum, because we absolutely love the drum.
We do. Super important. Just like following industry insights. Like Drum is a perfect example. Like they're always sharing what's going on. So I would say another tip would be is to like sign up to newsletters from kind of like the Drum and other like marketing communities, because again it keeps you in the know, it keeps you what's going on, because with marketing it is so fast paced and it's constantly evolving, especially with technology and AI, and like there's just so much going on, so you just need to make sure you're keeping on top of that, what's going on.
Yeah. And AI is a big thing for us at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, massive. Yep.
A lot of people looking at how to use it, starting to use it. What do you reckon, like if we could fast forward and then look back, so say we're sitting here in, I don't know, I'm going to go big, 20 years time, we're sitting here having the same conversation.
Yeah.
What do you think you might look back on and think, wow, I can't believe we used to do it like that?
Oh, that's so hard. Like, I think I even think that now about stuff. Like, I remember in my past job, my cousin always saying to me, if you're sitting here doing something and it's taking you a long time, he was like, there is always a quicker way to do it. And I feel like that is AI, isn't it? Like, I think people worry about, is it going to take our jobs? Like, what's going to happen? And, Daniel Priestley said in his talk last week, like, it's just going to amplify what we do by like 10 times. Like, and it's something that's always stuck in my head, is that if something's taking you a long time to do, there is always a quicker way of doing it. And I feel like, AI is already doing that for us. The Brunch and Learn that we've got this week is about AI and prototyping. And the guys, from, concept to actually like a full working prototype would take them kind of 4 or 5 weeks. Whereas now that they've got all these AI tools, it's taken them 5 days. Yeah. And I just think, if that's now, 20 years' time, like...
It's hard to imagine.
What is... Like, you might actually have a full working, like, I don't know, invention in, like, a day. Like, what...
Might be sat next to a robot, mightn't we? Yeah. Like, doing some of our work.
Yeah. I always think of the film I, Robot. I don't know if you've seen that, but...
like, they end up taking over, though, don't they?
That was, like, super scary.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. It won't be like that, hopefully. But, yeah, it will be incredible. Like it blows me away. I just think how is it possible? But it's great.
It's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So what skills would you say people from like my generation would need in order to like get into marketing and stuff?
I think like be yourself. Like, enjoy what you're doing. And I think be confident, be chatty, be willing to like kind of ask questions, talk to people. And going back to the organisation skill, but I think like sometimes that sort of stuff, like you need to go out and do the research, like I said about like knowing about the industry and things like that, like do your research. Just make sure that you're like, keeping on top of trends, and you're willing to put yourself out there. Like there's a lot of like webinars and live streams that you can go and join and get to learn about like, different channels and different parts of the industry. Like go and join some webinars, go and do some free courses, like just, yeah, honestly, the knowledge and the tools and the training that is out there that you can have at your fingertips and doesn't cost you anything, like go and do it. But yeah, I'd just say just be confident, be chatty, be willing to learn, like, you know. And I think a lot of the time with marketing, like I always struggled, but like you do need to come out your comfort zone a bit, like. And I feel like one thing that my manager said to me is that if something feels challenging or you're nervous, like that's you like coming out of your comfort zone. Like, you know, something always comes out of change. Like something good always comes out of that change and that challenge. Like, so I feel like don't be scared to come out of your comfort zone, because 9 times out of 10, after you've done that thing that you were really scared to do, you're like, oh my God, like I did that. Like that was so easy. What was I worrying about? So like, yeah, take every opportunity and don't let your nerves get the better of you. Like just take a leap.
Yeah. Strength comes out of a struggle for sure.
Yeah, that's very true.
It
very
definitely
true.
does.
Yeah.
Any final questions for Lucy?
No. I don't think so, no.
We've taken a lot from you, Lucy. It's been
Good.
brilliant. Is there
Thanks for
anything
having me.
else on your mind that you're like, oh, there's something I haven't said that I wanted to say?
I don't think so. Like I said earlier, like just be happy, like just do what you love doing. And I feel like, especially like, for example, like Reflect, like we offer like work experience placements. And what's really nice about that is that someone can come into the agency and they'll do a little bit in like the paid team, they'll do a little bit in the marketing team, they'll do a little bit in the SEO team, and it really gives them a really nice opportunity to try everything. So if you get the opportunity to try different things, try them all, because there could be something that you think, nah, I don't know, but you might give it a go and go, oh, I really enjoyed that. I was actually quite good at that.
Yeah.
And like, then you could think, if I never did that, if I never took that opportunity, you know, I didn't step out my comfort zone, you would never have known. So I think if you can experience lots of things and try out lots of things, like do it. I would say that's a good bit of advice.
And vice versa to that. I've seen people that have kind of had a dream that they want to go and be a lawyer, and they've kind of seen that from TV and they're thinking, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then they go and do their degree and they spend all the years, etc. And then they go and get the job and they're like, oh, I hate this. Yeah. And you're like, oh, you could have maybe circumvented that. Not that, and also to have got a law degree, I mean, the skills you'll have gained will help you in so many different ways. Absolutely. But it's just a shame that I think you've got to go and try stuff, find the experience, find the people, connect with people. Are you on LinkedIn now?
I'm not, no.
Oh, maybe next. That's what we need to do next, because you can go and find people, connect with people like Lucy, and find
really
those mentors. Even a mentor can be someone that you work really closely with, but also people that post a lot on LinkedIn can almost be your virtual mentor, that you're not necessarily having one-on-one chats with them, but you're learning from the content they're creating, because we live in an incredible world now where people share so much, in a world that you and I didn't have when we were younger. Yeah. You couldn't get access to that level of information. No. So that's been amazing. Yeah, Thank you both so much. Ruhan, you've been amazing.
Thank you.
And Lucy, well, I mean, I get to work with you every day. So I know how brilliant you are, but I know our audience will have taken so much away from today. You. So thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing to follow your story on LinkedIn.
Yes, thanks for having me. It's been brilliant.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And join us soon for another episode of Behind the Future. That concludes another brilliant episode of Behind the Future. Thank you so much for listening. You can listen back to other episodes on YouTube or your podcast platform of choice. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, as that will help us to grow this podcast, ensuring we can get the best guests on here for you to learn from. You can also follow us on socials, linked in the show notes for exclusive content. See you on the next episode.